Okay, this is Donna, you know that, right? The medium. Okay, so do you want me to explain this to you? Okay, so I have my earphones on and I'm recording with an audio recorder that's outside of my phone, so that way you can be 100% anonymous. But I do have an app on my phone that records for readings and stuff, but I won't put that on the internet, but I'll say that I could send you a copy and in case you want to share it with that, if there's anything that comes up for the law enforcement or whatever. I don't know if you know, it's like I'm a Reverend at a spiritualist church, and like this is what we do this is what we do. It's just where you just relax and you think about Joe and you just relax, because it's like I'd say it takes them a couple minutes between every time they show me something. And then it kind of dissipates, and then they have to form a whole nother kind of picture, and it's slow. And then it doesn't really matter what you say much. It's just more your energy of being open and thinking about Joe will help him have energy to come through. And then also if he gives things that might verify that yes, this is him and stuff like that. But I don't control it. What I do is, so if they show me a picture and I start to, sometimes it's easy for them to pick a picture out of my head. So it might not be exactly the same exact thing, but like say if they wanted me to say a swing set, they might just show me my childhood swing set. So, but sometimes I'll start saying details because I'm not sure what's important. They'll hold the image in front of my face until I say all the right things about it. And if I keep saying this stuff about the same image and I don't get it right, then I might ask you if you know what I'm talking about or something. But, all you want to do is confirm things, but you don't want to give me more information is the thing. Okay. Okay, it takes me 2 or 3 minutes usually to just kind of go back into a kind of meditative state. And then when I start getting stuff, I'll just tell you what I'm getting. If I see anything real graphic, I'm not going to say it to you. I was getting some stuff earlier when I meditate. I kind of get it again too. It's like, it kind of feels like, when Joe and Lori were young, it felt like, it just felt like they were both, nice looking people and stuff, but then they were just young and, in some ways not always knowing how to have a relationship, but other ways it felt sometimes towards the end like that Lori just kept acting like she thought she could do better or wanted more than he could provide or whatever. And then another scene I kept seeing while I was meditating was I don't know, it felt like he was at a car lot or something. And I know I saw one picture of him on the internet with him in a convertible, and I printed out a picture of him too. I printed out like two pictures of him and stuff. But if I see anything in my mind, whether it's here, there, or anywhere, I just say it anyways. And of course, the whole story's out there about how he tried to stay in Tylee's life, so we already all know that. I'm just seeing the picture that's already on the internet, which is fine. It just means it's just working to him coming in, and it might be a couple of minutes, and I'll just go back into that state. Because I'm seeing that blurry picture of him on the internet where he's in the snow with Tylee. He's giving me the feeling of being at a social gathering. I don't know if it's like a family gathering or a friend gathering, but it feels to me like he likes talking to the people. Yeah, he's still talking. So, like I would deduct from that I would feel like maybe he either is a good conversationalist or enjoys socializing or something. At least when he was younger, Because how I'd seen him is younger with energy and stuff like that. His energy, like when he's young, it feels like his energy level is high, or like by that I mean he likes to go. He likes to it's like continual continue, move forward, or just a high energy from him being young. I feel like there's something about that scene, okay, because, there's some stuff that's going to be general, but I'll just say it's like that picture's on the internet. It's kind of blurry. It's him and Tylee in the snow, but he puts it in front of me again. I'm not sure if the location matters of it, or I'm not saying anything about anything. And, this is the other thing. Okay, so if I tell you that I'm seeing the girl, or that I'm feeling something about the girl, that does not mean she's deceased. So, even though it doesn't look good, I don't want you to I want you to understand the other spirits can show me her and show me stuff about her. So it doesn't mean see, this is how they do. They'll layer pictures over, even though it's not in the picture. Cause it's like I'm seeing one of those things you ride on to right up to the up the mountain, the little that hangs from the you sit on those benches that make you ride up the mountain. You know what I'm talking about? You hang from the wire, the bench hangs from the wire, and you sit on it and ride up the mountain when you're it's weird. It's like I saw the picture of her, them, the blurry picture from the internet, but then this isn't in the picture, but I just see they're not called gondolas, they're called just things. It's just like a hanging bench from a wire that goes up the side of a mountain when there's snow. People sit on it. Yeah, that thing. If I say it right, then they'll make it go away and they'll start forming another one. Which it looks like they did, so I'll just wait for another one. He feels like, okay, so he's not sitting at a desk, but he's standing there and he's just showing me, he has some different kinds of papers lined up. And they don't feel like, because that's well known about this divorce thing or whatever, that he kept trying to be able to keep his daughter in his life, right? But what he's showing me on a table isn't that. What he's showing me on a table looks like receipts, like he's trying to figure out how to something to do with money, well, it's just like whether he's trying to figure out a budget or, see, the thing is, if I interpret too much, it could be that they're setting up the picture for another picture that's going to mean something. So it's more important what I see. And then when mediums, when actual real mediums, get something wrong, it's usually in their interpretation of it. So it's like what I see and then what I think it is, like that. But what it feels like is it's a desk. He's still got it there. It looks like, because I see receipts, like if you bought something and then your other letters about your bills, and he's trying to balance this stuff. And they'll just say stuff like this because we want to make sure that we always have the right, spirit coming through and stuff like that. And plus they like to say hi and stuff like that. So it just feels, what it feels like with him and Lori was there came a point where she was demanding more than he could provide. Or, I got chills on my legs. So that's pretty much, that's the general idea, Yeah, I got chills. So I'm just going to relax a minute and let him put something in there. When I get chills, that's them emphasizing something, like they're like, yes, you got that exactly right, or something like that. So if I say I got chills on something, and especially, like when it starts coming to the location of things, that's just an indication for anybody listening that it's pretty correct. Because otherwise, they'll show you, if they wanted to say the suspect's last name is Bunny, they might show me a bunny hopping across the floor, and it really doesn't make sense till you try to figure it out later. So we just got to keep open mind. I'm feeling like someone wearing tennis shorts. Did he play tennis? He what? Oh, he hiked a lot. Oh, maybe that's what he's wearing. Okay. I just seen the shorts, and I thought those can't be golf shorts. So. Yeah. It's a hit, but a near miss. No, okay, we'll just see it. Yeah. So I had a thought, and then I got all these chills on the thought was that, I said to him, I said, you didn't really get a fair shake in the whole thing. And he gave me chills about that. But I only thought it. I didn't even say it yet. It's funny. I just in my mind to him said, it's up to you now, Joe. And like, I'm just trying to let myself go more and more. And then he showed me a box of tissue and said, better take out the tissues or something. He feels like he's snapping up something, like snapping up a coat. Yeah, he's where he's taking me is snow, which is pretty obvious. Some things but I have to say them whether they're obvious, and someone would say, oh yeah, well, everyone knows that, or it doesn't matter. If I see it, then that's what I'm supposed to say. And so anyways, he snapped up a coat, like a winter coat or whatever, and then we're like walking through snow. It feels like he's trying to show me those freeway signs, not the big ones, but the little ones that are like mile markers or whatever like that. They'll figure out a way. They'll figure out a way. I just say every single thing I see. So we're walking through the snow again. Always, and this happened in like a couple other times too. It feels like a branch hits my face. Not a hard branch, and it just did it again. And they must be trying to do that for a reason. But I don't know what it is. Well, I just feel like I'm coming up on a cabin, but there's snow there. And right now I'm seeing just like a little, almost like a brook. I'm not seeing that whole lake, so I don't even know if it's the same place I saw before or not. Yeah, just it would be more in the category of creek or something small. I'm just seeing something small right now. And there'll be stuff later, but right now I'm just seeing something small, and it seems to be important that there's snow on both sides of it. Oh God, I got chills all over my legs. This is important. The water that's running through is still running though. Even though, this is really important, even though what they're showing me right now is like only probably 3 feet across, or just, it's one of these things. It's not frozen. It's, the water is still trickling, and I literally have, chills. My whole legs, both my legs are pure chills. This is super important. On both of the banks of this little teeny, creek thing, and it could be 5 feet, it could even be 8 feet, but just how I'm seeing it is that it's small. They're emphasizing it's a small creek, and yet the water's still running. And, the snow on both sides of it, though, looks like it goes up like, at least a foot on both sides, maybe 2 or something. But I don't know about 2, but I don't have that quite right. But even though the snow is banked on both sides of this, the water's still running, and that seems to be super important. It's some kind of clue about the area where there's snow, but where the water hasn't all frozen over. That's important. I know that for sure because of the way they do those chills like that. Okay, so I'm just gonna let them do what they want, and so it just takes. It's a slow process, but I don't make stuff up. I don't fill in the details. It takes them a minute or two between. And then after I'm done, I just edit out all the silence. There's a lot. Like, I just go through and edit out. Okay. But I leave all the details, even if we have no idea, because really some stuff that's random and weird is actually important. But that was really important. Clue there. They really want to show me this, these mile markers. They really want to show me this, but I'll just wait a minute and see if it comes clear. I don't see the actual number on it, and I think if I even tried to guess, then people would just hang on that, and I feel like I see a 4 on it, but I wouldn't hold to that. But there would be like 3 numbers, and The 4 might be the middle number, but I'm not sure. And I don't want like people who are looking to sit there and, be like, oh, it's that for sure. Cause it's really hard to see stuff like that. I could try, I know another way to try to ask him, but what they're showing me is that it feels like at or near, cause they're showing me it together, but it also could not be right at the driveway, but they're showing me in relation to the driveway where you would go into where this cabin is. So I'm thinking of another way they might be able to show me the numbers. So I'm going to just try to communicate and see if you can do it like showing me through like numbers of fruit, or because they show you visual. This is all like charades. It's not like Skype at all. It's like literally one picture after another, and I'm trying to make sense of it. But so it feels like in relation to this mile marker near where you would turn in, and you know what, you might not turn right off the road there, but it's a general idea, but it feels like you do. But I would say it would be a general idea, but it feels like that he's showing me that where this cabin is near this mile marker. Like, okay, I'll say what I feel like saying, but again, numbers and names and stuff can be hard. Like, I feel like 148 is a number that I feel like, but there might be a 3. See, nobody can hang on that number, and I'm gonna see if he can show me a number in another way, like objects, numbers I can count or something. So it might take a minute, okay? I think the first number is probably bigger because I'm feeling like there's a whole pile of oranges. Like, as I'm asking him, well, show me how many oranges, like, for the first number or something like that. Yeah, I don't know. I think I better let this one go and then let them come back to it unless they try. I'll just go blank and because I'm not getting, because I also feel like there could be a 3, but I don't know how there'd be more than 3 numbers. See, oh, maybe it could be an address or something. I'm just going to go blank and let them start over and show me how they let him show me how he wants to show me, okay? I'm just going to say whatever numbers come into my head, but you know what? I'll probably clip them out because I want to say them just because I want to be able to look them up, and you can have a copy too, but the odds of getting the exact right number would be probably 1,000,000 to 1, right? But it feels like there's 4 numbers in is this an address? Like, I'm wondering if this is an address. It feels like there's a 4 and a 3, like maybe like 403, 8 or 9. I got kind of chills on my legs. I'm close. Is this an address? This is an address. It's like an address of a cabin or something like that. I got chills on my legs. He's trying to show me. He's trying to give me the exact address. Okay, but it's hard to see. See, they're forming. This is what it looks like when you're doing mediumship. It looks like you're looking underwater. Okay, that explains it to you. It's like someone doing charades while you're looking underwater. So I just don't want someone to think that's exactly right. But between me and you, it looks something like 4039 or I'm gonna let him try some more and see if I'll just say every one that it looks like it could be. Then maybe someone could figure it out later. We can figure it out. I think he's gonna try another tactic. The cabin that I'm seeing, and again, they do 2 ways of showing you ones. One is if they have to make it themselves, it's like looking underwater. It's like all these molecules that come to form in this blurry way, and but the other way they do it is called a reference library, where they can go into my head, and if I've seen a thing before, like I've seen a cabin before, so it might be a cabin from my own head. So I don't know. But the cabin that he's showing me, it looks like it's dark stained wood. Yeah, and I got chills on my legs about that. So I'm having a feeling that it's a cabin wherever people are searching, they're going to want to look. But it feels like it's dark wood. Or, it could be painted dark, but I mean, I'm just having the feeling of dark stained wood. We're walking around. He's walking me around it. like of where I see a door, and then we walk around the side. There's like a window there. I know these are obvious things. I'm just telling you, but just we're walking through the snow. The snow feels to me, it feels to me like it's around maybe a foot or a foot and a half deep. It doesn't feel like 3 or 4 foot deep snow and stuff. There's obviously like moose or something around there, or that, you know, that could always be a name too. But I think I'm seeing a moose. I don't know what all these animals look like, so just keep all the animals that look like that. And because there's a moose, there's the caribou, there's all these ones that I'm not some kind of expert because I live in San Diego. So elk, yeah, I know. I was so happy the first time when I'd like, oh yeah, it's a lake, and then it's Idaho, it's nothing but lakes. Okay, so I'm just like, oh well, that, yeah. I know. Okay. He still has me at this cabin. He's really going to walk me around this place and show me. And we're outside the cabin. There would be the maximum that I would feel like the snow is around 2 feet deep max. At least where we're walking around, that's how it feels like. It feels like when I sink into it, I'm only going just below my knee or something like that. That's a feeling he has me right here. I mean, right here where we are. I'm just waiting to see what he does. I think he's taking me to something, but it's because it's like everything went clear all of a sudden. So I just wait again. It's like he's outside with me and he said, come here, I want to show you something. And I feel like I can see another cabin that's like not too far away. But what else I can see behind the cabin, it feels like it's almost like a valley. And to me, it does look bare. Like right now, how I'm looking at it, I'm not saying how it is this time of year or whenever, but right now, how I'm looking at it, I'm not seeing all the, a lot of snow or anything like that. So he's showing me this valley. He's just got an image in my mind, and I don't know what he wants me to do with it, and I'm not going to say it, but to me, I'm like, I don't know, this doesn't make sense, or not that it doesn't make sense, but I'm just trying to figure out. I'm still here. I'm just trying to I'm trying to wonder to him why. I don't understand. I'm not seeing some horrible thing, I see one thing, like her. I'm not seeing her being attacked, but that's because I don't want to. And, I'm just seeing her, but I'm not seeing her being attacked. I'm not even seeing her. It's like there's the cabin, then there's this separate scene where she is. And then off in the distance, and it could even be a whole separate scene he's trying to show me to. Like, he could be trying to take me to another location. And I'm seeing this a flat valley. So there's 3 things I'm seeing at once, and I'm not putting it together. I don't know why, and he's just sitting with it there, and I'm having a little stand up. Well, you know what I think it is? Okay, what I have to do is just, okay, so what I'm trying to do is let him show me. So I just need to relax and let him show me what he's trying to show me. But he's trying to show me something. I'm like, then I start trying to ask questions to them, and it doesn't really work that way. It's like once in a while I can wonder something, and then maybe that'll come through later, but it doesn't work. So, that's what I start doing when I don't know, and I'm like, well, what does this mean? So it's just, I'm just gonna try to go blank, but he's not. He's holding He's holding this scene in my mind with this valley, and I see I see mountains off in the distance. And the strange thing about it is normally I feel like I'm standing there and seeing them towards the direction, say that would be Yellowstone. Say normally I feel like if I'm standing there, like when I felt like I was at that lake the other time, I felt like I was facing maybe in that direction. and a lot of people have sent me screenshots saying about this Island Park place. And then there's these other people that sent screenshots about this Driggs and stuff. So I'm just maybe I'm trying to place it too hard, or I just wait, but let's see. But the thing about it is this time I feel like I'm facing away from there and I see this valley. And then I feel like the cabin is on the right to me. If I'm standing, oh yeah, I got chills. Okay, so I got it right. Yay. It really is like charades, really like charades. Okay. So if I'm facing away from Yellowstone and I'm facing the other direction towards maybe Washington State or Oregon, I'm facing away and I see this valley and, it's like, I don't know. I don't necessarily think there even is mountains in that direction, but I see them way in the distance across this valley. And the cabin is towards the right. Okay, I have spirit energy, but that part wasn't as strong as I'm facing away from the Yellowstone. I got chills, but I got a little spirit energy, but that means it's not quite right. So I'll just go try to go blanket again. And when he gives me the idea again, I'll tell you. Yeah, we're looking at this valley. Yellowstone is to my back. He's having me try to look like straight out into that valley. He wants me to see something way straight across from there. Not all the way to the other side, but way. Okay, I'll tell you what I'm seeing, but I think I'll cut it out, even from the one I put of me talking on YouTube. I will cut this out, I think. But I'm just going to tell you, because it's like I'm seeing it feels like I'm seeing like the steeple of what might be a Mormon church or something like that. And I don't want to be inflammatory on there. But I'm just going to tell you because I'm seeing it. So I kind of have to say what I see. And that could just be he's showing me how to tell the location. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to imply anything. Because the feeling I have, and I'm getting chills on my legs. The feeling I have is if I took a line and drew it from that Mormon church towards, I could feel this is really important. It's an angle. I don't know my angles to how to say them, but if there was a straight line to the Mormon church and then I think if you drew maybe a sixth of a pie, quarter, yeah, maybe a sixth of a pie, but that's from where I'm standing. Let me see. It's really interesting. I can look on a map and try to figure it out. If we look across that valley and we see that might be what they call it, a temple or something, if only those ones. I don't know if only those ones have the tall white thing or not, like a steeple type of thing. Okay, so from there, then it feels like we come back at an angle, and that feels like there. Yeah, I wonder if that is near Island Park or within that vicinity, but I'm not saying it is. That's me wondering, not me being shown. But from that thing, whatever he was doing about that church and that angle, it could mean something to somebody who knows about that religion. I don't know. Like that literally could have a whole meaning that I don't know about. Oh, I think it does though. I think it has a meaning to somebody because I got chills on my legs again. Like when they do those full blown chills, that means, look, this is right. This is what we're saying. So it feels like I might have to just leave it in there. It feels like someone who is Mormon would know maybe what I'm talking about. Let's see. Yeah, because, wow, that was interesting. I really don't know the total meaning of it. I just know I'm facing away from Yellowstone. I'm seeing across the valley at this church. If I draw a straight line to the church and then I draw a line back like a sixth of a pie, that feels like it's related to the location of where this cabin is. And I'm getting when I say I'm getting a rise in energy, it's not like, it's kind of interesting. They have all these subtle ways of giving me energy to show me like, I've got something right. When I get the chills, it's exactly right. But when I get a rise of the energy, so it's like that. I just got a rise of the energy, so it's not 100% right, but it's gonna mean it's gonna mean something to somebody. And I just want you to tell you. Well, I feel like Tylee, and see, they could be showing me Tylee because maybe they're gonna say something about her, or she could be in spirit, and then you know what I'm saying? Even with a reading, you just don't assume till they know for sure and stuff. But I just want you to know I really like her. She has a nice heart, whether she fought with it. You know, I read these things. It says she fought with her mom, and so do all teenagers. Like, to me, her essence she's not like her mom in that way. But I'm seeing her in front of me, so that's why I don't want you to jump to conclusions. I'm seeing her, but I'm seeing her alive. I'm just seeing her, smiling. I don't know if you want me to say, they're probably not going to show me the graphic, horrible, anything like that, because I don't really want to see that either, but I was just show you this, and it's obvious, like, because I'm seeing how evil Lori is, like, you could just see it in her mugshot or whatever. That's her. That's the her that most people don't see. And I do have the rise of energy on my legs. So they put, even if it's, whether it's known or not known, I just have to say if they put it. And so that's just a little commentary by probably Joe. It's so serious. Like, I just, it's so serious of a thing that I want to go as far as I can to try to, like, help, but, like, without seeing, but just see there and see what they show me. I know every time I see these things in my head, I go, oh, it's perfect. They can find it now. Just like that. And everyone's like, there's like 100 lakes in Idaho. And I have pictures of all of them now. But, but we're looking at it out again. He's probably going to show me some more, being able to relate it to this church. If there was like a road straight across to that, feels like Highway 20 or whatever. Is it Highway 20? I shouldn't make to highway, or the number 20 was super, super, super important before, but I thought it was 20 feet from the river, which still it could be, but then when I didn't know about that Highway 20 everywhere, but I'm not getting huge chills and stuff. So that a lot of time, that doesn't mean a no. It means a lot of times they want me just to stop talking and listen. This is really weird symbology, which I do not understand. It felt like there was a deer with those horns. It feels like an actual deer this time. I'm not positive. But then if somebody walked up to the deer and took both horns and split them off. And I mean, this has maybe something to do with the location. So I wouldn't say, I'm not feeling like a real person walked up and did this. But it has to do more with the area. And I'm aware these caribou and these all animals look similar, so you'd have to keep an open mind. Like, I'm feeling this might be an actual deer, where you take two horns, take them down. So there's two, you've just taken two horns or antlers. That's what I meant to say, antlers. And whether caribou forest and that kind of thing, I'm just saying what pops into my mind. And I've spent so much time looking at maps that you also have to be able to just disregard anything I say as mind stuff. But, I can't always tell the difference of these. But if there's a place where it would be like two horns, and I'm having chills on my legs. So, it's probably not exactly right. But if there's a place that's called two horns something or two horns this, we'll have to look it up, and you got to be so flexible, or two antlers or whatever, two deers, or it's going to be something like that. That's important. I got chills, and I'm sure I didn't have it exactly right, but it's something like that if you're looking at maps and stuff. Okay, so yeah, I did get little chills on my legs. So something along that general idea of the two antler, it could be there could be this random weird place like Two Antler Bluff or whatever. But it's the general idea. Okay. Now there's a difference between a trapper and a hunter, I feel like. I don't really know, but I feel like someone might be a trapper there. Like they might, walk with those snowshoes and collect furs or something. So I'm still having that visual in my head, which means there's more about it. Oh, and also remember, anything they show me, because they have to show me everything in pictures, could be a name or a place. All right. But he still has the trapper lingering there, so like a trapper that would wear snowshoes. So I'll just start saying everything I see, and then I feel like he's wearing snowshoes. Yeah, and he might pull a toboggan along behind him with all his furs. Like in the olden days, how you see on the olden day movies. But that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a person that would do these things. The guy that I'm seeing is kind of a big guy. I'm not saying he's any part of it, and again, it could even be a place called Trapper, but I'm just seeing kind of a big guy, and he's all Daniel Booned out, wearing furs and walking in his snowshoes and toboggan, his toboggan. It's almost like the olden days that you would assume. And there's a meaning, though. There's a meaning. Otherwise, they wouldn't show it to me. It's not random. And he still has me there. I feel like we take these to a store. I'm kind of wondering if this is, I don't know. Well, it remains to be seen if this is a current thing or a past thing about that area. He's showing me the creek again. It's feeding into a little bigger thing. So off this little creek, he showed me where the water's still running. It's just feeding into a bigger inlet. Yeah, so we're looking at the topography there. The little teeny creek feeds into, how does the water run like that? Let me see. I'm seeing the direction. What he's showing me is the directional flow of the water. I'm trying to, because it feels like it feels like now I'm turned away. I could be totally turned around, but I feel like now I'm turned away from the valley. And, I feel like the river, this little creek seems to be running into a bigger one versus vice versa, but you would think that you would have a creek turn into a littler creek, but it feels like that littler creek is feeding out into that river. There's something about that. I'm not having a bunch of energy, so whatever it is, I'm kind of going up the wrong alley on this one. So I'm gonna let it clear. I'm gonna let it clear out, and we're looking at a window. We're looking at a window that's has a frame that it's like if you had one square or rectangle window with the frame down the middle and the frame across, so that makes it into four panes ago. Yeah, four panes, 4 window panes. Because stuff like that, you always have to keep in mind the number 4 could be important. Like maybe he finally figured out a way to teach me numbers, and I got a rise of energy. I think it could be that 4. Yeah, I'm getting chills on my legs. So I think what it is he's trying to show me 4. He's figured out his own way to show me stuff. Do you know the more they come through, the better they get at this too, which is interesting. I just have to not try to go in front of them, because then that's when it like I start thinking and then wanting to reach, and I just have to relax and wait. But we've got a 4. I think the 4. I've got chills on my legs. The 4 is important. 4 is important. I don't know. He's saying something about my oranges idea. He goes, yeah, because there's this pile of oranges, and then he picked one orange up and he held it up as the sun was going down. Oh, maybe he's either showing me the direction of west in relationship, because I feel like I'm standing direct west, or he's showing me a 1, because he took one orange and he held it up to the sunset, and then it turned into the sunset, kind of, it morphed like, I have feel spirit energy in my legs, but I'm not getting the chills. So whatever I'm saying is not exactly right of what he's trying to get across. But we'll see. He's trying to do something. So that's good. It might be a 1. No, probably not, because I'm not getting chills. I'm getting a little rise in spirit energy. So I'm going to try to go blank and let him start over on this. But the 4 is important for sure, because I got the chills on that. The 1 is wrong, it sounds like. We are in this cabin, and we're at the wooden table. We're not sitting there, we're just standing there. He's having me go over to the sink. I see this cabin's not like one of the big luxury ones that you rent. It's not a beat up cabin or anything. But it's a simple cabin, because the table I see is probably seats 4 people, and the kitchen is smaller. I'm getting a little chills on my legs. The kitchen is not a large kitchen, and it's almost like just several feet across, but longer than it is wide, and that has a kind of faucet. And see, this stuff might not seem important, but it will be important. If there's ever an investigator somewhere that they recognize all this, they'll know. But this, and I got chills on my legs. So this sink, it has that kind of, the faucet's probably a little older faucet, but there's a double sink. Okay, a double sink, not a super huge, and it's not a fancy one, but it's a double sink, and then the kind of faucet that, where the metal pipes come out, and then it has a longer thing. Let me see. Then it's a higher, longer thing. You know how some of those ones where it's almost like where you would put in a shed or wherever where the water thing's there, but it's not the shed that he's showing me. It's inside the cabin, and it's but it's that type. It's higher up than some, and it's for some reason that's important. And the thing on the side, it feels like it's built into the counter, where it's, like a little wavy, where the water automatically just flows back into the sink or whatever. It actually feels like it's built on as part of the counter. And also somebody else might recognize this. Somebody else might recognize this who doesn't approve and knows where it is and can say it in, so that could be part of the reason. I got chills all over. I know somebody knows. I feel like there'll be somebody who just, total chills all over. From my waist down, I'm having chills. That there's plenty of people out there. Oh, I got huge chills. Huge. They're growing. There are plenty of people out there who are in this whole thing that do not approve of this. This was not anything that, part of what they saw as what it was about. And there are people who recognize this cabin and know where I'm talking about. And I literally, my legs are in so much chills, they're just pure chills. So this is true. This is a true statement. I was just going to let it clear out again. I said right what they wanted. So. They might, it might be, because, okay, I just saw this quick scan again. It's like, okay, we're outside the cabin. I just scan. And then I have a feeling that this might be an area, or there might be like another building near it where somebody skins animals or something like that. Or it could be the type of area where commonly people do that versus the straight up, luxury camper people. This area might feel a little bit more wildernessy in the sense that people have cabins there, might do stuff like that, like skin animals and stuff. And not just, it's about the area. I'm thinking, and I gotta try to stop my brain. That's what's going on right now. I'm going, okay, is it this person? Is it this person? Is it? So I just gotta stop. It's a skill just to stop your brain from that. So just give me a minute, and then I'll just blank out again, and then he'll give me something. I feel like we're driving in an off-road vehicle. And now, once I felt like we could be in a Jeep or something. It could be Tylee's Jeep, but it could also not be, and it could be totally unrelated. I'm not saying. I just felt like I feel like I was bumping around in a 4-wheel, like I'm off the paved road. We're just driving on a dirt road. I feel like on this dirt road, like what I'm seeing around me, I'm seeing a meadowy area off to the right that kind of goes up it goes like up a hill, but that's not where you drive. It's just like this meadowy area. And then, I'm feeling like for a little bit, I was feeling like we were driving where there's more trees, but then I see where like the trees of, okay. So the trees of clearing, when there's trees of clearing on this dirt road, but we're higher up now, I feel like I'm at a higher elevation than when I was at the cabin before. I wasn't feeling the height and elevation, but that could be the same cabin, but he's just showing me the height and elevation now. Or it could be different. I don't know. But I'm having chills on my legs, and I'm feeling like as we're on this Jeep or 4-wheeler or something, and we're looking across a valley, or that same valley, we're looking across it, but now we're a little higher up than it. It feels like while we're driving and I see the clearings that I'm a little higher up now. Which, obviously would make sense earlier, but it didn't. I didn't have the feeling of that, and now I have the feeling of that when we're driving. That we're driving on this dirt road, and it's not a super wide dirt road. It would probably be the one where you come across other people, and then you have to kind of move to the side. That kind of dirt road where it's, it's a tight 2-lane thing, if you're doing it that way. But there's occasional clearings, and I see off across this valley. And I feel like where I am is, if you drew, well, I really don't even know where the border is, but if the very top of Idaho, I feel like I could reach it. So I could show on a map. It's like, if you took the very corner of Idaho where they say that Yellowstone Park and Idaho border, way up in that corner, I would be over to the left, over to the left on the map, over to the left, and down from the border. So it'd be like if you drew a line at a perfect angle from the corner, and then more to the left, like I'm driving away from that. That's how I feel, and obviously I could be wrong, but this is how I feel. I feel like I'm driving on a ridge or a ledge, or I got chills. Okay, so that's important. Something, and I don't know if the name will be like ridge or ledge, or if it just is ridge or ledge. I got chills on that, but then they cleared it now, so I think I said everything about that I need to say. But we're still going. We're still in that vehicle, so essentially we're off-roading. We're going down dirt road to get where we're going. But I'm not saying this where this happened, or, I'm not tying this to anything. This is just what I'm seeing. So, I mean, I have a feeling, but I don't, I'm not seeing that right now. Yeah. Oh, and I just got chills. I got chills. So yeah. And if anything gets to be too much for you at any time, also, you could just put okay. And I'll just see where he takes me then. But if it does, you could just set the phone down for a minute and just sit there and go get a drink or something and then come back if you feel that way. But I'll just let him see where he takes me then. I'm going to have to let it clear out because then I started wondering too much in my mind, and I just have to let it just clear. It does feel a little more like the more hardcore people go here versus like, just the family that wants to go rent a cabin at Yellowstone or something like that. I'm not saying it isn't there and this and that. I'm not making any claims. I'm just saying it just feels like this is the more dedicated. Yeah, those type of people that like to go way out there I'm seeing a bear again. I'm seeing a black bear. I feel like saying black bear cabin, but that, probably doesn't make any sense. I just feel like saying that. Oh, do they? Oh, wow. Okay. So I have a little rise in spirit energy, but I don't have chills. So that's not exactly right, but there's some acknowledgement there of something, but it's not chills. So then that's how people listening know how literally to take it. He's showing me the black bear again. There could be black bears there, or there could be a name related to that black bear. You're right, it could be a cabin, but I don't know. It's not exactly right because this time I didn't even get in that rise in energy. That could, that could either mean I'm wrong, but it could also mean they want me to stop guessing and just let go again and let them tell me. Sorry, I keep repeating myself, but that's all I can do. I've seen the meadow again too, and that's always to keep in mind that there might be a meadows in the name or something like that. But there also might be a meadow slope up the side of the hill when you're riding on that dirt road too, because that's where I saw it, but could be either. Black bear meadows. That's not right. I know that's not right. I'm feeling like that lake again that I saw a few weeks ago when I meditated. I felt as soon as I saw Tylee's picture before, it's just like I felt like I could feel her. And in that time I was seeing this lake, and I feel like I'm seeing that whole thing again. So I don't really need to repeat that, but I'm feeling like this area. I feel like this area is where she could be found. Again, I hold out hopes that she would be alive in some prepper camp and stuff, but I feel like almost crying when I say that. So I know. I know. It's like, because the other times, like one time when I was literally feeling her even when I was doing dishes, and then when I went and did a meditation later, and the weird thing about that was this, who I for sure realized was Charles Vallow, but I hadn't read of him or heard of him yet. And he was a man there. Yeah, and he was with her, and he was telling me that he got shot and stuff. And I was telling him to be quiet because I wanted to talk to the girl. And then it was like after I let her tell everything she wanted to tell me, then he was still there, and I let him tell me. And then I said, I'll read it. I'll look it up after, and if it's true, then I'll make it public. Like, I didn't even know the guy was or what. And so I do feel like, but I just, it happens, and sometimes they are alive, and I could see her or something, but you know what I mean? I hold out hope and prayer, but I'm feeling like, and I have chills, and I'm feeling like up at this area, at this cabin, and then I'm feeling like, I feel like I see this lake still. And then I still feel that whole thing. It's in there. So it's like up off to the left of the river and all that. The same thing I felt before about that. So it's in the other things. I don't think I need to repeat it to you and have, but let's see if he can be more specific even. I feel like something, I don't know if you want me to say it or not. I just feel like someone took a really big, like, piece of wood and just slammed her in the head really hard, like, and so it's like I don't want to say a bunch more stuff that freaks you out and stuff like that, but I just say, yeah, and you know what, sometimes people's imaginations can get into it, and sometimes they could be wrong. Like, the world's best mediums are only 80% accurate, so but it's just that's just what it feels like to me. And, you know, these people are horrible, so I'm going to tell you. I'm just going to watch and see if he can show me a location, see how precise he can get on this location thing, okay? I'm feeling like I'm seeing a wider river, an area where there's the wide rivers, like, now it's not that little stream, there's like a wider river to the left of that cabin. That probably feeds into the, like, lake. It feels to me, you know, and maybe I'm feeling like it's a lake because it's a super wide river. I don't know, but it just feels like there's water there. But it feels like up off to the left, the river's wider and it's moving faster. I didn't get a lot of energy on that, but I was seeing maybe it's separate. Maybe it's a whole separate thing. And they're just going to show me a whole separate thing that has to do with the name or something. So I'm just, let's take that, everything we saw, and just put it separate and say, I'm seeing, a river, and the river is going to me, quickly. It's going, I don't know how to gauge it, but yeah. And it feels wider, much wider. I'm getting the 20 thing again. I'm feeling like saying that the river's probably 20 feet, but for some reason 20 is constantly going through these. But I do feel that way. I feel like it's at least 20 feet across or something here at this place where we're looking at, and it's moving swiftly. It feels to me, and I could be wrong, it feels to me like it moves out into a wider body. I've gotten at least a dozen screenshots of lakes and cabins in my messenger every single day. Oh yeah. Sometimes like up to 100 messages a day. But okay, yeah, I can't make, but once in a while then they all swirl in your head and it's like, I don't know what lake it was. So, but that's why we're trying to let him figure out a way to tell me more location wise of things. So he shows me again this river. I feel like it comes pretty fast. It's not so fast that it'd be like you'd wear a helmet. But I don't even think you'd go down it anyways because it seems cold. But it's moving right along. It's moving quick. They're trying to show me something. Someone could go down that in one of those canoe things or whatever. But yeah, they could do that there. But I don't know for sure. I'm not having a bunch of spirit energy on it. It just, they're showing me it. I gotta stop my brain and let them just do it. When I start wondering and trying to think and stuff, it cuts it off. So I'm just gonna like go back to calmness and see what he does. They still keep putting that river there. There's something important about it. This word popped into my mind. Of course, the word's probably not it, but I felt like saying Casey Creek or something like that. And I only say it because it could trigger something in somebody else where they're like, oh no, she's talking about X, Y, and Z, like that. Yeah, so I got a little chills on my leg. So that it won't be the exact name, but maybe it sounds like that, or maybe that just makes somebody else think of something. I'm seeing some kind of weird things and I'm not sure how to put them together in my head. Like one thing I see is it's almost like a wire. And then It was like these things that are so vague. Like, you know how when they string a phone wire, I don't think it's a phone wire though. And then there was something else that was like round shaped. So I just have to keep waiting, but I can't make it out. I wonder if there's a place named Bear Creek, Idaho. I know there probably is a... Yes, I know, because the other time I was so happy when I came up with the name Blackfoot, and then I went to the map, and there was like about half the state named that. But then I still say it anyways, just because stuff pops into my head, and anything should be dismissed, but it's just kind of like a wondering feeling. And that might go with the black bear, and there's something there, but I don't know what it is. I don't know exactly. Don't have it exactly right. I can see where the snow is, but probably snow looks like that all the time. It goes in curves. Like where the snowbank is, it's like a rounded curve. But then maybe they all are, you know. And that it could mean something else, So if I'm looking at it and I'm seeing to the left the wider mountain, and I'm seeing back and almost a little to the side of me, like if a watch hand was on the 4 o'clock, back to that side of me is the smaller kind of creek thing. Just somebody else might recognize that. These people that go hunting and stuff, and you know, even people of that group they're in, I think that I would guess that the majority of them would not support this behavior at all. This is ridiculous. And I feel like, I got chills on my legs, and I feel like somebody will recognize this. And, I feel like I don't know if the majority would not approve of this. I don't feel like that it's this what Lori did, you know, and Alex and stuff. I feel like the majority of those people would not approve of this at all in any way, shape, or form. They would not be supportive of this. I do have energy coming up on that. I feel like crying, and I feel like my whole legs are getting chills. So I feel like the majority of these people would not in any way support this, and I literally have chills all over both of my legs. And I feel like some of them would be looking at this and they would be like, okay, I know where those hunting cabins are, and they could anonymously say, because a murder is not right ever, and most would never support that of all of these people, regardless of them wanting to do their, stuff that they do. This is not what is okay for the majority, and it's like I got chills on my legs about the fact that many among them are really not happy about this. And when I say that, I mean they're upset too. And they're not all about this and supporting what these guys did on their own with their own justification is not representative of the overall whole. And I feel like, okay, and I'm getting the energy up again, and I feel like there's those among them that will go, oh, I know where those cabins are. And I feel like they should be encouraged. And I just got really strong chills all up to my top of my thighs, is to anonymously call this in. And I feel like where these cabins are, yeah, it's a little more remoter than your standard camping thing. And I know I said that again, but it's just they're putting these feelings through me. Sometimes they do that to build energy. Sometimes they're just, there's more than one cabin up there, but it is for the more diehard people there. Okay, so that's good, and we got that, and that's really it's real for them. It's real for a whole lot. I feel like it's real for like thousands of people, or it's real for them of not being right with this and not quite knowing what to do, and that like of them knowing to just call in anonymous and stuff like that. So that's that about that. And I have chills on my legs. Like it's the spirit is of Joe, but there's all these spirits around. Like when I pray for like an hour and stuff, I pray of calling all, God, Jesus, the archangels, all of them. But so then it stuff from spirit, but it's that's a real strong feeling of non-approval of the majority. And I'm not only just talking about the Mormon church, I'm talking about that whole thing of that whole movement they were in. The majority of them also are abhorrent, or if that's a word, just like, yeah, and I got chills on my legs. It's no, that's not okay in almost anybody's book. And I feel like saying not okay in anybody's book, but apparently there's, you have the couple whack jobs like this Melanie or whatever. But most of them know, and some of them know where this is, and all they need to do is be encouraged to call. So that was about that. So it went clear again. So all I have to do is get clear too, and then I just like feel about Tylee again, and I feel like even though she felt, had some self-esteem issues and stuff, she cared about how other people felt. I feel like she had to go along with her mother. Obviously, she's dependent on her, but she feels like she was leery of her mother's attitude towards things. And it totally has felt with me before, and even, now, but it felt with me before when I tapped in that, because it feels like her mom is literally like this just sociopath, and, but it does not feel like Tylee is at all. Now I'm wondering, when I'm doing this, I have zero sense of time at all, but I'm wondering, do you know how much time it's been right now? Oh, okay. That's usually when they stop. They always stop right around 90 minutes. I just got big chills on my legs, so I'm feeling that that's when we're supposed to stop right now. And what I'll do is, you want to be 100% anonymous, right? It'd probably be better for you, but it doesn't matter to me, but it's up to you. Yeah, it's smart. Yeah, that's what I would feel for you. So what I'll just say is, something about, I could either say Joe Ryan friend or family, or family. What do you think? Okay, I'll just say someone in Joe. I'll just, I'll just say somebody who knew, I'll just say family. They won't know who. And then, because, I'm going to probably clip this out, but this is between me and you. And I've done a bunch of these, but I've never put them on public. But I just, when I went and read about it after the first time, there was so many different states and cities, and I don't like people who murder children. I just don't like. And you know what? It really, what they were giving me was that the majority of this group don't like that either. So it's not that they all think this is okay. Lori, yeah, I feel like that what their actions they justify to themselves is them. Lori, Alex, Chad murdering Tammy, Lori murdering Charles Vallow, Lori murdering her children. Lori's a sociopath, psychopathic. Okay, I mean, I hate to swear, and I know you. Let me ask him for a sec, because sometimes while their energy's still there, they can give me chills. I got chills on the thing that it was like No, most of these people do not support in any way this kind of activity at all. This is not what they think it is. And I've got chills all over my legs again. So Lori and her evilness saw an opportunity to make money, because she wanted to go have this fantasy life or whatever and be this, like, queen of the doomsday preppers or whatever. But the reality is, I don't even want to insult prepping, because I don't think that almost a single one of them, other than whoever's in this little clique of psychos, but the big group, no. The big group, they want to be prepared, and there's really nothing wrong with that. They might go a little too extreme, but they don't approve of murdering children. And some of them know, when they hear this, they'll know where this is, and they could call in anonymously. And the reason I'm reiterating it is because I got chills all over. Something I did wonder myself was if Lori could have had a hand in Joe's death. Obviously, they set up Charles. That was pure out murder. They set that up. I saw it. He showed it to me before I even knew who he was. And he showed me the inside of the house. And he showed me where he fell. And it was all accurate when I looked it up. I only had the kind of firearm wrong. Everything else was accurate. So I know that was him, and they ambushed him. But so let's see what Joe, because I did wonder myself too about Joe, like if she could have poisoned him. I'm not getting energy on that. Yeah, let me ask him a minute. Well, because if he'll give me chills to emphasize what you're saying is correct. Like I'm getting like little waves of chills, but I want to let's ask him a minute, and then we'll just be silent for a minute, and I'll tell you if I get any energy about, because we're just wondering to him if Lori had any hand in his death other than stress for years and years, barreling him with constant fighting or something. But let's if Lori directly contributed to your death in the way of murder. I do have spirit energy, but I don't have chills. So she could have been praying for him to die or something like that. Spirit stuff is real, and they were getting really delusional. Chad and those guys. I've seen these kind of things before where people open up and then they start thinking everything they get is from the divine or whatever, and it's not. And the ones that are not to the highest good can also be also charismatic and intelligent, and so it's like they diluted, but with Lori it feels like more different. It feels more like manipulation. Oh, I got chills. Yeah, it's manipulation. It's now wanting to be free of Charles and do all this, and wanting this $1 million thing. It's all about that for her, and it's more of a twisting. So while the general media is like, oh my God, these scary nut doomsday preppers or whatever, it's not that. It's more like her and manipulating, and Chad manipulating everything, and this crazy Alex, who clearly, like, I actually started to tap in with him a couple of weeks ago, and I couldn't even have him come anywhere near me. Even just the presence of his energy, even not even connected to me, was so ominous that I just was like, no, forget it, because I don't know what kind of lingering effects it would have. So he's horrible, crazy nutcase, wacko. He enjoys killing. He enjoys it. He actually enjoys it. And with Lori, that feeling I had with her was like I said in that other one, where somebody's weakness, it's almost like because she doesn't really feel the way other people feel, it would be a smirky feeling, like, their weakness is her disdain for them, or and so you have the both of them feeding each other, all of them feeding each other. But not all of them. I don't mean all these 13,000 people. I mean all these, Alex, Chad, Lori, and if there was any more, I'm not sure. Oh yeah, all of that. This is the most craziest thing ever. But them working each other up with Lori, you know, and the other time too, it felt like Lori was as much a mastermind or more than even Chad and Daybell, as far as it felt like Chad murdered his wife, no problem, and justified it to himself. It didn't feel like it was Lori telling Chad to murder his wife, but it felt like Lori setting this whole thing up about murdering Charles Vallow. That felt all like Lori for the money. They showed me, this is really weird too, they showed it to me and I hadn't thought about it in years. But in 1991, my brother was murdered and the woman thought there was a $500,000 life insurance. And it was just along those lines. And when I was tapping in with them before, the spirits, like I literally hadn't thought about, you know, I've put that out of my mind. Not my brother, but what happened. But they put it back into the mind the same way that spirits communicate of that. And so that's why I knew even on those first tapes that it wasn't the cult doing this. It was, you know, this ambush for the money thing. And so, let's see, was there any other questions we want to try to see about? Yeah, and you know what? The spirits always stop it. It's like when I do the mediumship, I have no sense of time at all, and they always stop it right around 90 minutes. So, but you know, if more comes out and they need more clues and stuff, we could do this again. And hopefully, I'm hoping that some of the other family members of these other victims will do it, because I would really like to give them all a chance to speak. All these people that she's destroyed. And that's where he fell too. Like I was confused in that very first one. And then it's like, that's where he got shot. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I'm getting chills on my legs about that. So what we're wondering is if they were murdered separately. And I am having a rise on my legs about that. I'm having chills on my legs about that they were, whatever happened to them was two separate times. And I was getting that at the beginning too, but I didn't understand it then. I'm saying, I'm wondering if this happened at, you know, the next day or something, because it's separate. And I have right now, my whole my whole legs are chills. So I think it's safe to assume that that whatever happened to them happened at separate times. So, yeah, and she was mad about the life insurance money thing and stuff. And so that was just retaliation. And the thing about her, there's something coming I'm supposed to say about Tylee. Yeah, that's what it is, Tylee. So, okay, so I have felt the presence of Tylee. I felt the presence of Charles Vallow. I actually invited Tammy one night, and surprisingly, and she came and she gave me information, and those messages for her children were intense. Like I had the most chills from the top of my skull, my arms, my legs on Tammy, and where she was saying that type of medicine. Like I hope the coroner somewhere gets that, because it's probably rare. And if someone could write them a letter, it would be good. But okay, so there's something else. Oh, I felt the presence of all these people, but I have not felt the presence of JJ. And I don't know if that's because he's such a young child that the spirits, like if people need healing when they go on the other side too. So if someone dies a traumatic death like that, they're going to need all these, like the light beings, the angels or spirit beings, the love. That it could be that he's in a healing thing, or it could be that they feel he's like too mature of a child spirit, or you know what I mean? It could be something like that. It feels like, because I feel like I have energy, and so that just feels like why I haven't. But Charles, like if anyone from Charles Vallow's family is willing to do this, we could have him really try to follow with JJ. But I tell you, twice he came with Tylee. So I know that these men who were in spirit first were following along, and I know that they can give more information. Yeah. So what we can do is I'll put up just my part only, and I'll take out the spaces, and I'll make sure if there's anything that would imply I don't think there is anything that would imply who you are, but I'll make sure it's 100% anonymous. And then if none of the other family members will help of the other victims, then if people need more information later, we can do it again. Oh yeah, do you want me to? No, I will. So okay, so and plus that way, if you're talking to law enforcement, you can send it, you can forward it to them. I'll send it to you on drop link or whatever. And just when we hang up, will you text me your email? And this, I want to tell you, thank you so much for having the courage to do this. I know that people, I've done a lot of these, and a lot of times when someone's missing and then they decline to do it, it's because they tell me afterwards that they were afraid. So it takes courage to even do what you just did right now. It really does. Okay, and I'm not. Yeah, oh, that it's my pleasure. I hate people who commit murder. My own daughter was murdered. I don't know if you know that, but um, I know I feel like crying. I don't want to cry, but yeah, no. If I can help in any way to uh, help hold somebody responsible for murdering a child, then I'm really glad to do so. Then I want to do so. So okay, all right. Thank you very much, and send me your email. Send me your email as soon as we hang up. Okay, sounds good. Okay, all right. Bye.